Okay, so we are up to Parshas Ve'era, and the Parsha begins by telling us that Hashem says to Moshe, I appeared to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yakov. Ve'era el Avram, Yitzchak, and Yakov. And as we've been learning, our whole approach here to how we're learning the Chumash is that the Torah is, of course, not just telling us stories. It's not just telling us history, but it's telling us about our own experience. It's telling us about our own lives. And so if in this week's Parsha, the Jewish people find themselves in Mitzrayim, in the world of Paro, in the world of slavery, then what this means is that on some level, in our lives, we each have aspects, we each have experience, in which there are parts of us or parts of our life that can feel like they're in a Mitzrayim. They're in the situation of being under the clutches of Paro. They're in a state of shibud, in a state of slavery or constriction. And Hashem is speaking to Moshe, and he's saying that there was a time, he's speaking to each of us, to every one of us that feels a sense, that experiences a sense of Mitzrayim. And he's saying you need to understand that there is a concept, even if you don't feel it right now necessarily, there is a reality, there is a concept called Va'era El, that I appeared to. Va'era El, that I appeared to, that Hashem can appear to us, that Hashem can show himself to us. And Hashem is telling that to Moshe because Moshe is in a difficult position. Moshe is struggling. Moshe is frustrated. Moshe is wondering, Hashem, Lama Harayot Salamaze, why are you putting these people in these situations? Why are they in this Mitzrayim? Why are they dealing with Paro? Why are they dealing with slavery? What's going on? And Hashem is saying that before we can talk about anything else, you have to begin by understanding that no matter where a person is, no matter what they're dealing with, there is something called Va'era El, that I appear to. Now, the word El, to, is explained by the Degel Machane Ephraim and in the Svar Makadoshim, that word contains a very, very deep concept and a deep secret. And it's really the secret that we all need for how to deal with our situations of Mitzrayim and Paro and Shibud. What is the word El? So the word El is made up of two letters, Aleph and Lamed. Aleph and Lamed. Aleph is the first letter. Aleph is one. Aleph is Echad. Aleph also stands for, and even the word Aleph means Alufo, the ruler or the master, which is Alufo Shel Olam, the master of the world. Hashem is the master of the world. Hashem is Aleph. Lamed, if you think about it, the shape of a Lamed, if you can picture the shape of a Lamed. So the Degel Machane Ephraim says something amazing. He says the shape of the letter, really the Gemara says this already about other letters, that the shapes of the letters are also significant. Not only the name, not only the number, not only the sound, but the shape of how we write each letter is significant. The shape of the letter Lamed, says the Degel Machane Ephraim, if you think about it, looks like a pipe that is twisting and turning. It starts on the top, and it funnels kind of its way down, and then it turns to the side, right? Like a pipe in a building, it brings something down, the water down or whatever it is, and then it tries to carry it across, and then it brings it down even further to go where it needs to go. So the letter Lamed is the pipe that is bringing down from above and then bringing it through this world, across, and then bringing it even further down to manifest, to actualize, to be real in this world. The letter Lamed, he explains, is the letter that expresses a sense of channeling something, receiving and serving as a pipeline, serving as a channel, serving as a vessel to bring something from a higher point to a lower point. But it's not, if you think about a vav or a nun, like a nun sofit or an endanun, however you say it, right? But not a nun where it just goes straight down. A nun is a straight pipe. But the lamed is a pipe that twists and turns. And that, he says, is the key. Because, of course, we all wish sometimes that things would just be like a vav or the nun, where it just flows. It goes straight from the top to the bottom. We can receive Hashem's bracha from the top. We can be that opening on top. And it can just flow straight down. But that is not the reality of the world that Hashem created for us. That's not the reality of our lives. It's not the reality of what Hashem wants from us here. Instead, Hashem created our experience to be much more like the experience of a lamed. Much more like the experience of a lamed, where in the experience of a lamed, there's twisting and turning. It's not smooth, it's not straight. It doesn't just come from above and go straight down to below. The lamed is twisted. And so says the Del Machne Ephraim that Va'era El is telling us that Hashem is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, I appear, and your job, I appear, Va'era, I appear, as an aleph. And your job is to receive that aleph as the lamed. Your job is to try and clear out your pipes as much as possible. That you are a pipe. You are a vessel to receive from the top and to try to allow it to flow through you. Now there's something in this that I want to see, if I can speak out, I want to try to say this in a clear way. It's a deep concept. To be a pipe for Hashem is a very different way of living than what I think we naturally orient ourselves to. We typically think Hashem tells me what to do. I am a person, I am a being, I have my desires, my interests, and Hashem tells me what to do. So now I need to figure out how to live, how to connect, how to kind of reckon with the fact that I have a certain outlook, a certain desire, a certain goal, a certain way I want things to be. And Hashem is instructing me to live in a certain way. So there's me, there's Hashem, and now I have bechira, I have free will, I have choice. I can choose what to do. Sometimes I can try to make the right decisions, sometimes I don't make the right decisions, but that's what it means to be a servant of Hashem. But there's another way to think about serving Hashem. And the other way to think about serving Hashem is this teaching of the Aleph and the Lamed. Instead of thinking that I am me, and now I'm reckoning with the fact that Hashem tells me what to do, and I need to figure out how to do what Hashem wants me to do. Instead, the Bechira Chavshis is not as much of a Bechira on what I do. The Bechira is more of an internal Bechira. It's what am I aligning myself with? What am I plugging myself into? To be a Lamed for Hashem, to receive the Aleph of Hashem's presence as a Lamed in this world means that my Bechira is not, I want to do X, but Hashem wants me to do Y, so now I choose between X and Y. There's a deeper level of Bechira, which is to say, I want to make my will Hashem's will. Not I want X, Hashem wants Y, and I now have to choose. My choice is that I want to figure out how to hold myself, how to orient myself, how to posture myself as I am a vessel for Hashem. I am the Lamed that is trying to clear out the pipes, that there's nothing else inside me other than receiving the presence, the revelation of Hashem. So the Bechira, in a paradoxical sense, the free choice, is the choice of kind of giving up choice. It's the choice to say, I want my will to be the will of Hashem. Not I want my choices to be what Hashem wants me to do. I want my insides to be aligned with what Hashem wants. I want to be the pipeline for Hashem's revelation into this world. I want to hold myself and carry myself that the way that I'm looking at the world and experiencing the world is every single moment I'm in and every experience that I'm having, I am here as a conduit for Hashem's presence in this world, for whatever needs to be happening for Hashem's glory in this world, for whatever needs to be happening for Hashem's revelation and goodness to be seen and to be revealed in this world. That's what I'm doing. That's what I want to be doing. That's actually the only thing I want to be doing. Now, part of that can be the desires that Hashem gives me, because that is how I can bring Hashem's revelation into this world. But fundamentally, I am holding myself, I'm orienting myself not as I have my desire, but then there's the word of Hashem, and now I need to grapple with that. My desire is to be in the process of revealing Hashem's desire. This is what we say, it's one of my favorite songs by Zusha. Live with this song, and I live with these words. I try to, at least. We say, the Arizal says to say these words before davening. Hareini mechavein lasos es atzmi kisei umerkava l'shchina hakadosha. Hareini, here I am doing the following. Mechavein, I'm having kavana. People talk about kavana a lot, but what does kavana mean? A kivun means a direction. Kavana means alignment. What am I aligning myself with? I'm aligning myself, mechavein es atzmi. I'm taking myself, my atzmi, and I'm being mechavein, not my decisions. Of course, my decisions too, but that's the surface of it. Not my decisions, my atzmi. I'm taking myself, my etzem, my essence, and I'm mechavein it. I'm aligning it to be a pipe, to be the lamed, that is a kisei, a chair, and a merkava, a chariot, l'shchina hakdosha, for Hashem's presence in this world. What does it mean, a chair and a chariot, a kisei and a merkava? So the difference is, a chair is somewhere that you sit and you stay put. When you're sitting in a chair, you are where you are. You're not moving. Right? So much so, like you think about like on an airplane where you are moving. You don't call that a chair, you call it a seat. Right? But a chair, you're not moving on a chair. In the car, it's not a chair, it's a seat in the car. But a chair, a kisei, you're sitting, you're idle. You are where you are. And merkava is the opposite. A merkava is a chariot, it moves. It goes from point A to point B. Sometimes we're supposed to be present, still. We're supposed to be exactly where we are. That's a kisei. Sometimes we're supposed to be moving, going from point A to point B, working, growing, introspecting, trying to better ourselves, trying to better situations. That's a merkava. It's moving. Hareini mechavein, I'm aligning myself to be the pipe for Hashem, in which everything needs to be at this moment. Sometimes it's a kisei, sometimes it's a merkava, sometimes it's both at the same time somehow. But the point is that I am trying to show up as a kisei and a merkava, that I am nothing but the lamed. That's what I'm doing here in this world. That's what I'm trying to do. And this is an ongoing process. I think one of the mistakes that I certainly make, and I think many of us do, with these kinds of ideas, is we think that if I do this correctly, then I've done it, I've adopted this mentality, I've moved away from being caught up in what I think something should be, how I think something should be. No, I'm a lamed, I'm a pipeline. I'm trying to be that for Hashem. I'm aligned with Hashem's will. Now, once I've accepted that, I should be like that, because I've internalized that. So now I should be that way. It's like I programmed that into me. And once it's chal, once it lands, it settles. So now it's there. That's how I am. I've grown to work on that and to accept that and to be that. And now that I am that, that's what I am. It should be that way. But the reality is that that's not how it works. The reality is that we try to choose to align our inner world with the will of Hashem, and then 5 minutes later, or 5 seconds later, we lose touch with that. And we find ourselves right back into thinking just about the way we want things to be, and stressing and anxious and frustrated and angry because it's not this way and it's not that way, and I want it to be something else, and I'm trying to change this and trying to fix that. And I'm not in the Lamed mindset anymore. I'm not in the Va'era El mindset anymore. I'm not in the Harini Mechavin. I'm not aligning myself anymore. And then we realize that, and we're like, oh, so like what happened? I thought I did this. And the answer is that there is no such thing as now I am that. Now I've done that. I've programmed that into myself. It's not how it works. The way it works is that it's a constant, ongoing stream of choice, of choosing it over and over and over and over again, losing touch with it and choosing it again, losing touch with it and choosing it again. And maybe we can say that's actually the hint of the Lamed. Because the Lamed starts as a relatively straight, a little bit slanted, but relatively straight pipe. And then it goes completely flat, sideways. It's not aligned. It's not aligned at all. It's not taking from the top to the bottom, it's going sideways. But then it goes back to being a pipe. And it goes back to being vertical, right? The Lamed goes vertical, horizontal, vertical. And maybe that's exactly the idea. What Hashem asks of us, Va'era El, I'm appearing to you, and I'm the Aleph, giving you the Aleph, you make yourself the Lamed. Hashem does not expect us to ever just be a straight pipe 24/7, 365, forever. There's no such thing as a person, I got that, and now I am that. What Hashem wants from us is to be the pipe, the vertical part of the Lamed, and then of course we're going to go sideways, and we're going to lose touch with being the pipe. But then what he wants of us is to choose to be it again, and that's the second part of the Lamed. And that's why it goes from top to bottom, and then sideways, and then again from top to bottom. And what the Lamed is teaching us is don't ever think for a second that if you lost touch, I don't care, it doesn't matter how long you've lost touch, maybe you've lost touch for 25 years. Maybe the last time you ever felt a sense of real alignment was when you were like an innocent 6-year-old girl who got her sitter in school and was excited to daven. And you haven't, and that was you as a pipe. And since then, it's been 35 years, and you've never felt that way again. The Lamed is telling you, okay, so you had 35 years of being the horizontal. You can still go back to being vertical. Or maybe it was 36 seconds ago, and you're frustrated because I thought I chose this already. I thought I aligned myself, and I lost touch. And the Lamed is telling you, of course you've lost touch, because you're human. Because we weren't made to be the Vavs. We were made to be Lameds. Ve'era El is continue choosing again, and choosing again, and choosing again, to say, not only do I want to try to choose to do the right thing, I want to choose to make my insides that what I want is to do the right thing. That when I say the right thing, what I mean is that I want to be a vessel for divine presence. I want to be a vessel for Hashem appearing in this world through me. That every single one of us is placed in this world, each in our own way, to be a unique vessel or pipe for the revelation of Hashem to flow through us. That's what we're doing in this world. And we're going to lose touch with that, and we go back to it. And we're going to lose touch with it, and we go back to it. In some way, it's more challenging to get to this deeper level. But in another way, when we do, it's actually very liberating. Because it's no longer me and my personal drives versus spirituality. It's actually that I become more spiritual in myself. So now I'm aligned with it. It's not a struggle anymore. It's more organic. It's more true. It's authentic. It's actually built in. So Hashem should help us, every one of us, to realize that each and every one of us, no matter how long ago it was that we last felt that sense of I am a vessel for divine revelation, that every one of us can go right back to that It's not even hard. Every one of us can go right back to it and say, here I am. Here I am. All a person ever has to do is close their eyes, or don't close their eyes, turn to Hashem and say, Hashem, here I am. Hineni, here I am. In this moment, I don't know anything more than that. In this moment, I am here. I'm here to be the source, the vessel of revelation of whatever it is that you're needing to reveal in this world through my presence. That I can be present to be your presence. Hashem should help us to be able to tap into that, to connect with that, and to be that revelation of the Aleph through the Lamed into this world in a way that once every single one of us, to the best of our ability, can be that vessel. That's the revelation of Mashiach. That's the full revelation of Hashem. The full revelation of Hashem is only through each of our vessels. That's why it needs to be that every one of us, because we each reveal a different part. Okay, have a great day. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. Thank you.